And gentlemen, what is going on? I hope everybody is having a wonderful holidays, a wonderful new year. I know I am. I said that I would be doing a astrology chart for Chief Handler. Um, I promised that, so I do intend on delivering. We are going to do an astrology chart, a free astrology chart for Chief Handler. So Chief Handler, if you're watching, which I know you are, you get a free astrology chart, man. You earned it. So we're gonna look at Chief Handler and explain his tendencies and why he's so fucked up. Let's get into it. First thing we're gonna want to take a look at here is the sun. Usually the first thing I look at, and the sun is 21 degrees in Capricorn. Capricorn is a sign that's ruled by Saturn. It's very focused on accomplishments and achievements and making money in this world. Saying that it did something. It's a very determined and hardworking sign. However, when the sign's unable to achieve the great things that they wish for in life, often they get into drugs and stuff. But that's another story. See here that we're going to look at the whole content of the sun. Of course, this is Chief Handler's birthday that he gave me, January 12th, 1979. He was born on a Friday. I don't know the time, so I can't exactly give a complete chart here, but we'll do the best with what we have here. First thing I want you guys to notice is that Mars is also in Capricorn, and it's only 2 degrees away from the sun. So Mars and the sun are aligned here. Mars is the god of war. So when you take Mars and the sun, and they're conjunct, they're right next to each other. If you looked at the sun on the day of Chief Handler's birth, Mars would be right behind it. That's very strong, actually. It's one of the strongest placements that you can have in astrology. It tends to give a person a lot of strength, vitality, courage, and also a short temper. And they're very quick to quarrel with others, perhaps over small issues. So the sun is like your general consciousness, like how you normally perceive life. Mars is the planet that like you invoke when you become angry. So whenever you feel love, like for example, like these planets have more to do than just like the celestial spheres in the sky. They have to do with like your interactions with the world, with yourself, with others, your different states of mind. So for example, whenever you feel love, you're invoking an aspect of Venus. Whenever you feel anger, you're invoking an aspect of Mars, and then you become ready to fight. And you might even become a different person depending on where your Mars is. With Chief Handler, it's one and the same. This guy walks around always wishing to be reckoned with, and just in general just has a I wish you would attitude. While he's not, he may not necessarily be physically strong. He definitely has a very, definitely has a lot of heart there to fight and quarrel with others. This is really sad that Chief Handler has this placement, because usually this is a placement of somebody you would look towards to protect others. So the fact that he's on the dark side, that he's fighting on the dark side, I mean, that's not good. What we're seeing so far is this guy is very hardworking, very strong, very quick-tempered, and very good at using weapons. Mars is also good with weapons. All right, let's move on to the moon. The moon is in Cancer here. So, okay, so Cancer is kind of like the crybaby of the zodiac. I'm not trying to offend any Cancers that are watching this. Cancers are awesome people. My favorite people in the world are Cancers, but so this goes to show me that Chief Handler is excessively concerned about the well-being of his family. He's very sentimental. Um, he's also easily hurt by the words and actions of others. He could also tend to be a bit of a, at sometimes at least, be a bit of a crybaby, and his negative kind of expression of this placement can kind of whine about everything. Cancer can really be a big whiner. Cancer is like really likes to whine. In the zodiac, they really can complain about like everything. Cancer is kind of the sign that can be bullied a lot too, and can put up with a lot of abuse. You can see that Chief Handler was born on a full moon here, and it's a sign that's kind of always managing the unmanageable. It's also a very unstable sign that is changeable based off of where the moon is. Cancer ruled by the moon, so this planet is actually in dignity here because Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon is in Cancer. To say that Chief Handler has a sensitive side to him and probably cries here and there is, you know, an understatement. It's very common for people with Cancer placements to cry here and there. Me personally, I never cry, but maybe tears of happiness for somebody, or you know, awe or whatever. But no, I never weep in self pity. But anyways, that's your moon in Cancer there. It's a full moon. There's a lot of intensity here, ups and downs in life. The pinnacle of its height. There's also a lot of instability because of this placement. Emotionally, psychologically, it seems to be that this guy's never quite well and content or peaceful or happy. Moving on. Mercury in Capricorn. Like I said, he can be very sentimental. He probably has a lot of photographs and things that he's kept that mean a lot to him. His family's very important to him, and like I said, he's very easily hurt. He has a sensitive, soft side inside. He's soft, and he's hurt by others very easily, whether he wants to admit it or not. All right, moving on to Mercury. Mercury's in Capricorn here, so Chief Handler usually, when he thinks, is very thorough and thoughtful, and this guy is very perceptive. It's really hard to get anything past this guy. If you were to try to like sneak drugs into his orange juice or something, he would taste it. You know, that's Mercury in Capricorn there. Venus in Sagittarius. All right. Chief Handler loves to go on, loves to travel. This to me shows a love for travel, a love for adventures, hiking perhaps. Road trips, vacations. You may also have a love of studying different things such as religions or whatnot, theologies, philosophies. Here we see that Venus has an aspect to Jupiter. Jupiter is in 5 degrees of Leo. It's a fire sign. And Venus is 5 degrees of Sagittarius, which is also a fire sign. So this right here shows that Chief Handler is not necessarily very good with women, but definitely has plenty of opportunities of women in his life. I also have this placement as well. All right, moving on. Well, we have Mars, which we've already covered, which is basically one and the same with the Sun. And we have Jupiter, which is in Leo. This is Chief Handler's source of confidence. Jupiter is your source of confidence in life, your source of inspiration, what you truly feel confident about, your belief. And Chief Handler is a very good performer. So Chief Handler has this thing about him where he may have this ability to be the life of the party, to be quite a comedian, to possibly even the ability to mimic others. Very good at mimicry. Leo's a very good sign at that. In any case, Chief Handler is going to find all of his confidence under the sign of Leo, and the sign of Leo is actually going to be very beneficial to Chief Handler. So whenever the moon's in Leo, he's going to have a really good day, especially at the beginning of it. People that he meets in his life that are born in late July, particularly July 26th and 27th, are going to be very influential and a positive influence for him in his life. They may teach him something that he, that is valuable to him. Excuse me, folks. I got a bit of a cold. I've been out in the cold fixing my car. Let's keep it moving. All right, to Saturn. This is because we don't know what his ascendant sign is. It just has it as Taurus. I just put it as... It was just summarily put in the time and the... We don't know where he was born either, so we don't know if his ascendant is in Taurus. We don't know what his ascendant is, therefore we don't know the houses. Saturn. So we can't go by the ruler of his chart, but we can go by the ruler of his sun, which is Saturn. Saturn is in Virgo, and it is conjunct the true node. This isn't really a good placement to have. The true node represents your future, your destiny, where you come, not where you come from, but where you're heading towards in life. Your south node, which his is in Pisces, represents where you come from. With the south node in Pisces, this indicates past lives of perhaps being a throwaway, drug addiction, in and out of jail, homelessness. Also a lot of spiritual beliefs, as Pisces rules over spirituality. Pisces rule is between the is in the 12th house, which is the horizon, which is right over the ascendant, the horizon, which rules between the here and there, the deeper levels of consciousness. Abstract art is also, like the psychedelic art and stuff, is also ruled by Pisces, which is why I use Grimes, who is a Pisces, expresses that energy really well. Pisces also rules over the throwaways in life. Pisces is kind of the weakest sign in the zodiac, meaning that Pisces doesn't really have, it's a water sign, it's mutable water, so it doesn't have much of a will of its own. It's easily led and influenced by others. This describes much of Chief Handler's past, his past lives, and what he came into this life with. The skills and qualities that he was naturally born and came with into this world with. Having Saturn, Saturn is not a very good planet in astrology for the most part. Saturn is like where your life really sucks, where life is really tough on you, where you have to work 10 times harder than others to get the same thing, where you feel like a part of you is being imprisoned, blocked. Saturn also rules over desolation, scarcity. Saturn rules over deserts. Saturn really isn't like the best planet to be looking forward to, if you see that in your horoscope. This Saturn also represents great achievements as well too. The problem here is that the sun in Capricorn is supposed to propel Chief Handler towards great achievements, However, his future with the Saturn retrograde shows that if he has achieved great things, he does risk losing everything that he's achieved. It also shows a future of dealing with karma, or perhaps that he's already kind of is, because he's of an older age. He's 46. He's, you know, already moving towards his North Node, already dealing with karma. Chief Handler is a very karmic person. We're going to get into that. So we have Uranus. Uranus is a planet of ingenuity, of new technology, of things that just came out of nowhere, ideas that just came to you, things that just came to you out of nowhere. It was like totally a genius plot. Like, I got it. Well, Chief Handler has Uranus in the sign of Scorpio. It's a pretty nasty sign. It works very well with this Sun in Capricorn, meaning Chief Handler, and Mars, meaning Chief Handler is very ingenuine and is very good at coming up with new ways to troll other people online. He comes up with the perfect plot. It just comes to him like, you know what? I'm gonna, yeah. And that's pretty much explains Chief Handler there. Could also be expressed in a positive way, but for the most part, that's pretty much what Chief Handler is doing there. All right, Neptune. We're going to move on to Neptune. Chief Handler has an aspect here between Saturn and Neptune. Saturn is 13 degrees in Virgo. Neptune is 19 degrees in Sagittarius, leaving it within a 6-degree orb of a square. This indicates that Chief Handler's life, the reality of his life, Saturn representing reality, Neptune often representing a big mess, is a big mess. The guy lacks organization, even though organization is a very good quality of Capricorn. He totally lacks it. He's totally messy. He makes a lot of mistakes. His mind, his subconscious, his life is an utter mess. It's can be very painful. I don't see any positive aspects here with Neptune. Actually, yeah, I do. Well, that's a very common placement between Neptune and Pluto, because they're both outer planets, so that just... I have the same thing, I think everybody does, and that was born around within the past couple hundred years, so... yeah. I don't see any positive aspects with Neptune here, just very negative. And Neptune is a planet that you don't want to be on the bad side of. The vastness of the ocean, which Neptune rules over. Being adrift in life, feeling adrift. Neptune rules over homelessness too. I'm not seeing that in Chief Handler's chart currently. I'm not seeing a person that has experienced or is destined to experience homelessness in his life. Homelessness is something I can easily find and point out using astrology as well too. Even by transit, meaning periods of life in your life that you were homeless, or just a general life of homelessness, which is really sad. Moving along, we are almost complete here. We are going to move to Pluto. Now this is why, okay, we're not almost done here. This is actually the main topic. This is the main planet that we're going to talk about with Chief Handler, because this is the reason that Chief Handler is so fucked up. As you can see, Pluto was within a 2-degree orb of forming a perfect square to his sun. Pluto's in Libra at 19 degrees. The sun is in Capricorn at 21 degrees. And also a 4-degree square from his Mars. Ooh, that's nasty by itself. Being that Mars and the Sun, remember I said how they're together? So all of this is forming an intensity with Pluto here. This is a very intense placement. This is a... The guy's definitely a psychopath. And has definitely been exposed to evil in his life. I believe it's changed him and made him into the evil person that he is today. I don't think he'll ever change. He'll ever see the light or ever stop doing the things that he's doing. What it really comes down to is he just can't deal with himself. He can't deal with this evil energy that he has to deal with. He can't deal with it, and it's very difficult to deal with energy like this horrible energy, evil energy, this psychopathic, like walking into hell, Pluto representing hell, being dragged into the depths of hell, and yet still coming out whole. It was almost impossible for Chief Handler to do that, and he was unable to do that, which is why he's a psychopath. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to move on from Chief Handler's chart, and I'm going to show you similar placements of other serial killers and mass shooters that are similar to Chief Handler here. So we're going to look that up. We're going to start with Richard Ramirez. We'll do a couple, and I'll just kind of give you guys a, good gist of what's going on here. Remember what I said about Pluto and Saturn and the Sun? Well, here again with Richard Ramirez's chart. I'm not even going to get into Mars because it actually says that Richard Ramirez is quite a wimp. When he wasn't doing his predatory stalking and murdering and raping. If you were actually face this guy, and he was quite a wimp, and actually more so of a computer nerd, if he were in the day and age of computers. But he definitely has the same aspect that Chief Handler does. Chief Handler's sun was in Capricorn. Pluto and Libra formed a perfect square, a tense aspect. Here, it's an opposition, but it's also a relationship between Pluto and the Sun, a bad relationship, which is very similar and almost exact to the square. Pluto's energy wants to go one way. Pluto's energy is all about eliminations, excretions, death, garbage, waste, getting rid of things. It also represents renewal as well too. The phoenix rising from the ashes. Pluto also represents Hades or hell, or the deepest depths of hell. Often people that are psychopaths are exposed to evil. They are dragged into hell. And it changes them. In Richard Ramirez's case, it was his, he had a, uncle or, yeah, he had an uncle that was in the military and had killed a bunch of people in the military and showed him horrible pictures of things that he had done to the civilians and stuff. Yeah. And shot his wife right in front of the guy when he was a kid. Alright, let's get into, here's another one. These are the ones I know for a fact are, lining up. After this, I'm just going to start guessing. And we'll see what we come along and we'll find. Alright. So this chart right here is just as bad as Chief Handler. Actually, I would say it's worse. Or just about as bad. Just as bad for exactly the same reasons. you have Mars and the Sun with Eric Harris conjunct in the sign that it's ruled by, Aries, meaning this guy was very strong, very good at using weapons, very good at killing. And once again has an opposition. Mars and the Sun forms a tense aspect to Pluto in Libra. With Chief Handler, it was in Capricorn, forming a square. Here it's in Aries, forming an opposition, once again, to the planet Pluto, which is at 23 degrees. The Sun is at 20. Mars is at 18, which is a 5-degree orb, and this is a 3-degree orb, which is in plenty of room of a 10-degree orb. This is a total opposition here. This is why Eric Harris was a psychopath and killed people. He was exposed to abuse. He was exposed to evil, and it angered him and made him want to kill, which he did. He actually followed through, and he did it. Not only did he do it, he led, what is the other young man's name? I forget his name. Dylan Kliboid into he was the leader of this whole charade. Dylan went along with it. Dylan was Eric was kind of Dylan's mentor. Sun in Aries, the leader. All right, moving on. Are you guys starting to see a pattern here with this? Who else are we gonna do next? Let's see if there's similar. Maybe they'll come up with similar people here that I could just kind of. Let's see what we have. What was that one chick that was a prostitute that kept chopping people up? Eileen. Yeah, there we go. Warm. There we go. Let's see if she has this placement. Oh. No, she does not. Strangely enough. But she does have an aspect with Pluto here. But that's another story. That was a miss. Let's try again. I'm going to try... I'm not going to look at Charles Manson, though we can. I don't think there's anything there. The guy didn't actually kill people. He ordered others to do it. Let's see. You know what? Let's go ahead and use Google here. 'Cause I'm drawing a blank here. Famous serial killers. Okay, dude. Ted Bundy, maybe? Hey, come on, ads. It's not nice. World will be a better place without you. It'd be really cool if we didn't need your money. Here we're also seeing some negative aspects with Pluto here, but not with the Sun, or even with Mars, surprisingly, but with Jupiter, which is Ted Bundy's ruling planet, being a Sagittarius. Pluto, people say that Mars is the killer, and actually, I beg to differ. Pluto is definitely the killer in astrology, definitely creates these tendencies. But when you look at Ted Bundy's Mars, it's in... Sagittarius as well, though not conjunct. It is conjunct the moon, which seems to be aimed at women. Also, Pluto forms a square to Venus, which also explains his targeting of women. Mars is opposed Uranus, meaning this guy acted unexpectedly. Like you would never expect this. This is what's happening from this guy. Maybe even to himself. Anyways, moving along. Who's Jack the Ripper? I never even looked at half of these charts. Well, I've looked at some of them. But who is Jack the Ripper? Okay, it's not showing up here. We'll go here. Alright. December 28th, 1954. Let's see what we can find here. What was his name? Maybe he's famous. Tony Alvin. This guy's probably a mafia hitman. Nope, nobody knows who he is. Alright, we'll find out who he is. So, I love this little website here. No, we don't know the time. So we're going to put December 28th, I believe it was. Was it 1955? 1954. Double check. 54, the 28th of December. Yep. Alright, cool. Let's check this out. Yeah, Chief Handler, I'm comparing you to very bad people. Because that's what you are. Sun in Capricorn. You know, strangely enough, I'm not seeing anything that's similar to Chief Handler with this guy. And I don't know this guy's story at all. Let's look through this. There's so many. Wow, they just grow and grow every year. Some of these are from all the way back from the 1800s. Wow. I never even heard of like most of these guys. I never even heard of all these people. Let's look up mass shooters. There's so many serial killers. It's not actually. There's so many of them that they. Okay, here we go. Hey, come on. Thought this was a list. Okay, here's the list. Wow. Let's see. I want to see the really bad ones. How many people dead? Let's see a large body count. One. I thought this was mass shooting, bro. Only 3 died. A lot of this is mental illness too, here, which I do believe that psychopathy is a mental illness. So the Stockton 2025 Stockton shooting. Who did it? Unknown. They don't know who did it. Yeah, somebody came and offed a bunch of people and they don't know who did it. Alright, let's get into the... I want to go into the story of... What was the freaking poor kid's name? Kid was starved to death. I'm just going to type it in. Kid starved to death. Just people that I know for a fact are like total scum, bro. You don't even know, maybe some of these people were, I don't know. Forget what the hell was the kid's name? It was in a room that he was held in. I think this was in Indiana or something, Illinois. I don't know if I see her face. You know what? Let's go to YouTube. I'm just going to go ahead and look at Chief Handler's page because I know that he reposted something. And, oh, he's going. Let's just zip through this. I don't even know what all this stuff is. I'm not even looking at it. Navin Jones. There we go. Let's get into the story of Navin Jones, who was starved to death. Mainly, it was his mother that was responsible for it. Let's look at his mother's astrology chart. Stephanie L. Jones. Make sure we get the right one here. Sometimes it's hard to find people's birthdays. And she's 37. This. I know the chick that did this had a chart that was very similar to Chief Handler because I looked at it. I know that she was a Libra. I know that. Stephanie Jones. It was October. Okay, so said she is 37. I know that she was born in October. So she was 37 last year. And she turned 38 this year. So if you go back, that means that she was from here. That means that she was born in 1987. October of 1987. Okay. Wait. We're gonna find the Mars square Pluto here. This is what I'm trying to get to. Come on, no, I said redraw. Okay, here we go. It's October, I believe it was 14th. And it was 1987. All right. Is it 87 or? Hmm. In any case, I'm unable to find her birthday. This is weird. We're having some weird a Mandela effect here, or something going on. I'm trying to think of somebody else. I want one last example, um, just to make the point here. Somebody else. What about the yeah, that guy, the fucking the Virginia Tech shooter. Yeah, okay, let's look at him. Yeah, the perpetrator. Thank you. January 18th, 1984. Oop. All right. Stop. $1984. Let's take a look at it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we have exactly the same thing. I haven't looked at this chart in a long time. It's not exactly the same thing, but as you can see, the sun is in 27 degrees Capricorn, which is squaring both Mars and Pluto, which are joined together in the sign of Scorpio. And our Mars is at a 6-degree orb from forming a perfect square. And Pluto is a 5-degree orb forming a perfect square. This guy was very violent, very quarrelsome. That aspect of Mars and the Sun. Also had an extremely difficult life. Was dragged through hell and wanted to retaliate because of it. He was a psychopath. Once again, Pluto was involved in this, forming a perfect square to his sun, the same aspect Chief Handler has. If I had more serial killers lined up, I could have probably used more examples, but that's 3 right there. I may find more as I go along, but are you guys starting to get a good clue and opportunity? Oh, this guy actually had a very blessed life if he would have just not killed people. His Jupiter and Neptune were conjunct. It's one of the most beneficial placements in an astrology chart with Venus and orb that you can have. All of the 3 beneficial planets in astrology are all lined up together. This guy was looking towards getting out of college and had the possibility of living a wonderful life, but chose to give in to his psychopathy and ruined it all. Anyways, that pretty much sums up Chief Handler and why he's fucked up. His issues that he has. The guy's definitely dangerous. YouTube should be doing a better job protecting us from people like this, so we're not exposed to evil like this. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that gives you a better understanding of who Chief Handler is and what we are dealing with. I am doing astrology charts for other people. I could do them in a video format like this, or I can also do them live. I do them better in video formats like this, but I have no problem doing them live, email or anything. I could tell you about who you are for 30 bucks, Cash App. Can also draw a horoscope for you guys as well too. And no, Chief Handler, I am not doing a horoscope for you for free. You'll just have to see how the future unfolds for you. Anyways, I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. I will be posting my Cash App here shortly. If you are interested in an astrology chart and learning about astrology, please hit me up. I'd be more than happy to either help you or give you valuable information about who you are and what your future is. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day. I'm out.